Good morning, everyone. It's Joni here from Joni's Journals. Excuse me, I got a tickle in my throat as soon as I turned the camera on. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be working on the cover for the Nettles Nature Society. You can see here I've typed up some different labels that I want to make for the company. I haven't decided yet which one I want to use. I'm favoring this one, which is done in the American typewriter option of letter styles on my laptop, which is a Mac. I'm kind of thinking about using that one because it kind of falls within the timeline that I want this to take place. What I'm going to be using are a number of Tracie Fox's older botanical kits. This one in particular, some of the things that you're going to see here like this are from her Embellished Vintage Botanicals. There are two different sets. I have both of them. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head which one I took each thing from, but these are some of the different elements that are in the kit. I'm going to be using that, and I'm also going to be pulling elements, in particular the florals, and perhaps the birds, because it is a nature society, off of her Ernest, and I'm going to try to pronounce this, Haeckel journal cards. It's a set of 3 different cards. And like I said, I'm probably going to use the botanicals and the birds off of this. The rest of it is ocean life and doesn't really apply. So as I said yesterday, we are going to make a patchwork cover for the journal. I did the back myself this morning, and let me tell you, it took me about an hour. This one is the front cover is what we're going to do, and it's not going to take us that long because I've pretty much laid out how we're going to do this. As you can see, these are elements from her Vintage Botanicals. This is an element which is cut out, a couple of words, and the rest of these sheets that I've cut apart, let me see if I can lift it up and maybe you can get a better view. These are all from different kits of Tracie's that I've used. This one is from the collage. It's a collage, a set of collage papers. It's 2 pages. I don't know if you can make this out, but that's from the Dark Compendium, the Halloween Matchbox kit. And some of the other elements are cut out from her Fragmentology, which is where the base of the cover comes from. Now, you may ask why I cover this, but I don't know if you can tell, I cover it and then I cover it, but I like the little elements sticking out along the side because I don't go all the way to the edge with my patchwork. The inside of the cover is from my favorite sheets of the Halloween Mega Matchbox Minis, which we did the creep on June. I'm going to add something else to the inside. I don't know what yet. I have made the cover from scrap cardboard that comes from the back of paper pads. And what I did was these 2 sections are 9x6. I like my covers to be larger than my journals. And the spine is 2 1/4, a little bit over 2 1/4 by 9 inches. I've taped them together. It's actually, you'll see it, I don't know if you can tell, but there are 3 layers to this. The middle or the core is the scrap cardboard, and then I've covered that on both sides with white heavyweight cardstock. I told you about that cardstock once before. It's the cardstock that I can't get to go through my printer. And then I've covered the white cardstock with the sheets from the kit, from the multitude of kits that are printed on 65-pound cream-colored cardstock. I put my 3 sections together, and then I tape them with, this is Johnson & Johnson fabric tape. I found this on an expedition at a flea market in Pennsylvania. And then I've inked, after I've applied all the sheets together, I inked around all of the edges with the Distress Ink Walnut Stain. And that's where we're at right now. So what I do is I take apart, I print out 8.5 by 11 sheets, and then I cut them up into little pieces. And these are all, again, little pieces from Tracie's different kits. And then I lay them out and I make a patchwork. And it's very textural. If you ever make a journal like this, or if you want to buy this one in the end, there's a lot of texture to this. What I do is I try not to make my elements line up too much. I try to make it look rather scattered. And so that's what we're going to do. And let me grab my glue and let's get started. I hope you're all enjoying your day. It's sunny and hot here again in Florida. I don't think much of this is going to change for quite a while. From what I understand, we have just gone through the hottest July on record. Yippee. Okay, what I'm going to do is I start with the corners, and I'm trying to get this as straight as I can. This is a little bit awkward for me working around the tripod. And I leave a little bit of the edge showing. Let's move this over. You don't really need to see the other side. And I just start. I've already cut apart, I've inked all the edges of the pieces that we're going to be using. And once we get it all together, I'm going to show you what I'm going to put on my cover. Now I'm trying to make sure that these two line up at the top, and they do. As I said, I've already mapped this out several times in my head. I started last night, and finally I had to go to bed because I said I just can't do this anymore. My brain is completely shot. I'm going to push this up just a little so that you can probably get a better view of what we're doing. And then once again, I'm going to try to line this one up with that one and leave a little bit of the cover underneath showing. Yes, I'm covering it up, but we need to start somewhere. Now, the only parts of this that may line up, as opposed to the scattered patchwork look that I'm trying to get, are the outside elements. I have no other way, and I don't find it pleasing in any way to not line up the outsides. I prefer that is a little bit more stable than whatever may occur on the balance of it. But yeah. All right. Now, if I remember correctly, and there may be a bit of a change to this, although I'm going to try and do this quick with you so I don't bore you too much. Now is when I'll begin to overlap. I have a base, and like I said, I will line up the outside edges. It may be a little crooked, but nobody's perfect. And let's get this. As you can tell, I've pretty much figured out in my head where everything is set to go. But I did want to do this with you so that you can get an idea of how I put them together. I haven't yet gotten around to doing a video showing an entomology journal that I made that has this kind of a patchwork cover. And let's see, I do know that I want this up here and that I want this part here. Okay, this goes like that. This is the reason that it has an uneven, not unstraight edge, crooked edge, is because I've cut it apart from one of Tracie's elements in the vintage botanical kit. Okay, that's going to go there like that. And don't be surprised when you see the final journal cover if I don't think I inked that you might notice a change. Once the things are stuck down, they're pretty much stuck down. So I won't be altering the parts that are stuck down, but I might add to it. Sometimes when I get to the end, I go, oh, you know, that looks like an empty spot. I don't think I care for that too much. And I will add extra things on to balance out the journal cover, or balance out the patchwork portion of the journal cover to what pleases me. I know that it may not please everyone else, but I make the journals to make me smile and hopefully make you smile. And so I want them to be pleasing to all of us. Okay, now I know I wanted to add this part here, and I believe I was adding this part in here because I know I wanted these to be my base elements down here. Okay, see how I'm not lining anything up? Okay, I think I wanted that like that. Yeah, okay. I think that's how we'll go with it. And I do have, this is a very large element from the Vintage Botanicals. They're meant to be journal cards. And I may yet print out another set to tuck in here and there. But this is more of a journal about a company and a family that established it. So while I want it to be pretty, because I want everyone to like it, of course, I do have to remember that the main goal behind this was establishing the Nettles Nature Society and all of its employees and the family members that began the society. So yeah, it'll be pretty in the end, I hope. But it's also going to function as what I intended it to be, which was part of my little story of the Nettles family. I worked diligently. In fact, I just kept coming into the office/craft room last week, or this week, early this week, and over the weekend. And I kept working on the ID cards and the expense folders and the things that we started last week. If you remember, we worked on Maria. I've added a few people to the company since, and they've also gotten their own ID cards. And in fact, the family members have been established. We have Pamela Nettles, which is the mom, and we have Chip Nettles, which is the dad. He's the descendant of the original founder of the company, who remains unnamed at this point because I haven't gotten that far. I had an idea in my head that I might want to use one of the frames that we made a couple of weeks ago using the Tim Holtz elements, the collage frames that I made. And what happened was I had picked the gentleman. You'd have to go look on the video because I can't really reach him right now. He's a bit out of my grasp. And if I try to grab onto him, I'm going to hit you. I had thought about using the gentleman for the cover of the book. And then he was too big. He was just way too big. And I just ended up not liking the way he looked. So I decided that he wasn't going to be our cover. I apologize to those of you who may have wanted him or think that he may be good for the cover. But, oh, excuse me. I seem to have quite a little bit of a frog today. But yeah, he just worked out to be way too big to sit pleasingly on the cover. It was a little bit too manly. I was trying to establish him as the patriarch of the Nettles Nature Society, but it wasn't happening. He didn't fit. So he didn't make it to the cover. I do apologize again if I may have disappointed you. Like you even knew I was doing it. I have decided that the picture on my left here now, which is actually says a Spanish bayonet plant. I've decided that that's going to be the centerpiece of the journal cover, and that I'm going to pull out one of my Tim Holtz. I auditioned a couple this morning, my Tim Holtz baseboard frames, and let's see how this looks. This is going to go a little bit further up here because I want to be able to put the nameplate. I haven't figured out how I am going to make the nameplate yet, but I've printed these out far enough apart that I have room to play. Excuse me. And I've also printed out 2 copies. So I will cut those apart and figure out how I want to place the elements later. Now this little piece was supposed to fit in somewhere, but I'm not liking it too much now. It's not doing anything for me. It's kind of just sitting there. See, this is what happened before. Let me see if I can just find, I just want to close up this space. See if I can find something to fit in there. Maybe a little piece of one of the other elements. Oh, that might do it. See, it doesn't matter what size pieces you use, well, at least in my opinion, because you can play. I think I might like that there. And I play because I don't like to have big splotches of things set in areas on the cover. Let's see if we pull that down. No, we're going to pull that up like that. And let's just see if maybe we put that in there like that. I kind of like the way that looks. We need to pull it over a little because, as I said, I don't like my edges to match. Let's put that like that. And then what do we need? Well, actually, what's going to go down here is probably our little sign. Yeah, let's leave that like that for now. Or maybe we can add a little something here. Nope. We're going to just do that like that. See how we put that there? And then what's going to happen is either you're going to see the final journal cover and go, she was playing again, and it's going to be completely different, or you are going to end up seeing that the space that I'm so very concerned with right now is covered by the book label, which tells us that this book belongs to the Nettles Nature Society. Okay. I think we can do that. Yeah, I think that label will fit perfectly down there. Let's try and move this down. Okay, I think I like that. Now, what I had done, I said, was I had auditioned a couple of the frames. Now, these may glare, but these are what I have left out of my baseboard frame kit. And I tried that one, but I thought it was a little too dark for the picture, for the cover rather. This one was just tremendous, and it covered up too much of what I wanted to be exposed. And this one, again, covered the entire card, and while we can still see the Spanish bayonet plant, it covers up these pretty little parts, which are, stitched lines or made to look like stitched lines. So I finally concluded that I would use this one. And if you look, if I can get it centered properly, it leaves out parts of the journal card that I think are important to establish that it's an older item. Okay, I'm going to pull this down a little because I'm afraid you can't see. So, yeah, I think that I'm going to not put this part on yet because I do want to cover that with collage medium so that it's not as shiny. But I think that's where we're going to put that part. That's where I think we're going to put the centerpiece of our journal cover. I also haven't decided if I'm going to put any acetate on the inside of the frame to make it look more like a photograph. I haven't decided that part yet. Now let's put this, I'm trying to see if it's in the middle, centered from side to side, and I think it is. Is it? Yeah, I think so. And it appears to be straight, but see, it's matching up to the side of that little piece down there. Okay. I think I might have to live with that. No, actually, I can get it. There we go. So there you have it. It's our journal cover for the Nettles Nature Society. And there's the front that we did together. And here's the back that I suffered through for about an hour and a half this morning. So yeah, that's that. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's probably going to be my last frequent video. I'm going to have to be reduced to once a week, except during vacations. School begins for me again on Monday. So I want you all to have a lovely day and a lovely weekend. I might come back later and do a walkthrough of the other journal that I did with the patchwork cover, which again is using mainly Tracie Fox kits. I think I own more of her kits than anyone else. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please be sure to like and comment. I love to answer comments. And please, if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm up to 348 subscribers. And yeah, thank you. And I will see you as soon as I can. Bye-bye. Hugs.